Hello there. So it's Christmas Day. I'll say hello. Hello. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And this one's mainly for my super fans. I've been neglecting my duties as Ants Ramblings for far too long. If you didn't know, I'm well into my tarantulas and my centipedes, millipedes, mantises, roaches, all sorts. But anyway, back to ants. Let's do one. Let's do a... Can't say that. Let's do an ant update. Old school. I discovered a way. One of the things that's been holding me back as far as updates is the fact that I can't do the music so easily. I either do it badly like I used to, or I do it better, but it takes me like 3 attempts usually, and I have to have a quiet room and do it late at night. Anyway, so I'm just going back to old school. Forget it. I think most people would rather have just did my old videos old school. Okay, so as you might have just noticed from the screen here, massive developments on the leaf cutters. So I've never actually moved anything from that tub. The day I got them, they're in that tub with a nice fungus, and for the first 8 months, nothing changed. Literally nothing changed. Probably, well, up until about a month ago, actually. And they seem to really like this sort of... Let's take the tops off. I've got 2 baby mantis up here. Another thing to talk about, but they're cool. Anyway, my gauge has run out of batteries. These have become a bit more escapey recently as well. There's one on top there. Anyway, let's go in. I'll risk a few escapes. So what I've done, I'm putting moss-covered bark over the top, and it's sort of encouraged them. They really like it, and it's encouraged them to sort of start moving out. And I've got escapees on my fingers here. Hang on. Get back in. Oh, and there's one up there. I'll just sort out this escape problem. In, get in. Right, okay. As far as I know, they're all back in. Anyway, yeah, they love it. They absolutely love that sort of moss-coloured bark. And I never did stress them out by tipping the moss out, the fungus out, or making them rebuild or any of that business. I just left it alone. This is what's happened. And nobody's seen anything. Literally, nobody has seen this till now. So we've got a massive dollop there that I didn't notice till it was already a massive dollop. Oh, I've got one over here. Hang on. Go back in. Oh, now I've dropped in. Right, we may have to sacrifice one ant for this update, unless I find him a bit later on. Anyway, yeah, and then they've started really expanding upwards. And this is the feeding outward I made, what I've shown you before. And I never did expand on my food horizons. I did try them with broccoli, but it didn't make any real difference, to be honest, and it just went mouldy and they don't seem to be eating it. But I know other people have had mouldy and they've had broccoli, and it seemed to have sort of, really boosted the colony. I think it was Sadie. She gave them broccoli, and 17 days later, there's another one up there. I think a few of them got out. Oops. Right, okay, we might sacrifice 2 ants. We'll find out. I'll come back to it. Anyway, so yes, leaf cutters doing amazing, and they need feeding today. I'll go and get them some more. But it's just been bramble, and the bramble is a bit kind of crappy at the moment, but there is no shortage of it. It's just not very nice, but they seem to like it. So I want to try them with some different food stuffs, and I keep saying that, I'm never doing it. So I tried broccoli. I did try a bit of dandelion the other day, which seems to have disappeared. Maybe they like them, but there's not much dandelion around either anyway. Anyway, okay, let's move on. Let's go. Okay. So I've just put this roach in here for these guys. These are the Camponotus rufiglaucus, which I think are my favourite colony. I mean, the leaf cutters are pretty wicked, to be honest, but these are my favourite colony because I just always, right from when I first got into ant keeping, I wanted big ants. And I wanted a big colony of big ants. It took me a long time to get there, and I finally did. Oh, they've all moved out. I've not long opened the doors and everything. This all looks very full normally, but they've all hidden away. I added this for expansion. This is a medium. So Silvacutia medium, I added it for expansion. It seemed to be going right to start with, and now they've definitely used it as more of a dumping ground. I don't know, these are very mobile ants when it comes to all the substrate and everything. They'll move all that out if they want to. It won't hold them back. I'm not worried about them making it into some kind of, mould zone. Yeah, they're all just hiding, packed away. 10 minutes ago, before I started filming, before I opened the door, they were all over the place. It was all evenly spread. Anyway, let's go in for a closer look. These look like giant Lasius niger, when Lasius niger are full, I think is the best way of putting them. You've still got some brood, it's not at the numbers it was. See how they all sort of hide and pack down? They were all spread out. They literally filled these 2 nests about 10 minutes ago. But then they do this, they sort of pack down. Some kind of response to being disturbed. Just to sort of go into this defensive mode. Like the Romans did with those shields, you know? Forming a, was it called a turtle? That's what these ants do. I've been feeding them well. I need to buy some more jelly pots because that was really helping, I think. They got fed sugars yesterday, so I'm not worried about that. But yeah, they had a mantis a few days ago. You saw my Instagram. Anyway, I noticed 3 days ago, I was like, oh, what's that over there? There's a queen in a test tube here. I was like, what is that? I have no idea what it is. I don't remember putting it here. I just don't know. I literally cannot remember what it is. But she is a queen of some description. She might even have brood. Let's see if we can go in. Got some eggs. Any ideas what that is? It looks a bit like a Mesobarbarus. Me. I don't know. I literally don't know. I don't know. Why would I have a Mesobarbarus queen? I just don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, so there's a queen that I don't know anything about, which is just hanging back there. What I did do the other day, she was pulling at the cotton. When I first discovered her, she was pulling at the cotton. So what you do when you see a queen that's pulling at the cotton, what you do is you push something pointy down, so you poke into the cotton to make the cotton wet again, a bit more wet. That's what they're trying to say. They're drying out. Did that. Gave her some juice, some super juice. Here we go. Let's have a look at these. So this is the Immortals. I call them the Immortals. I've not got the flash on, have I? Here we go. These are the Immortals, which are my Camponotus irritans. They're on their second year without a queen now. It would be, because it was, what would it be? 2022, second heat wave, they lost their queen. Then they had a bit of a sort of resurgence. You see, the numbers have not really changed. This is the numbers I've always had. There could even be a few more at the moment. And I can't see any elates walking around. There is no queen, but that one looks bigger than the rest. But they're not supposed to be interbreeding. However, we're about to hit 2024 now. Not had a queen since 2022. They had brood over the summer. They were treating a major as the queen. And I was expecting to have a tube full of elates and they'd all be dead by now, but no. So they either live a good, a couple of years each, or I don't know what to say about them really. They don't fit the rules, do they? I love irritants, but I've tried, is it 3 times or 4 times now with irritants. I have to say, if I saw them at a good price, I would try again. Of all the Camponotus, they're my favourites, I think, because they grow so fast. And they look, I think they look better than, say, Nikos, and so in here. So this is the Camponotus japonicus. Queen's still alive. Worker died. There's the worker. I don't think we've got any new brood in there, but yeah, not a lot to say about her really. I've not bothered trying to hibernate her. I know that Japan, so hibernation probably is a thing really. I think Japan is a similar sort of climate to here really, a lot of it. These are dead. Okay, let's jump over. I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to mess about today. This is an old school. It's an old school update, which I think people would appreciate. Better than no updates. So these are the Manica, and everyone loves my Manica. And the good news is we're at December. And I've still got a queen. I can show you. Come on. I've got queen and brood. If I can get them. There we are. Look, some brood. Quite a lot of brood still, really. Not the best picture of the queen. I gave them a new tube the other day, so they're still in the Venus actually. So that's a fresh tube at the top there. So the numbers have not dramatically gone up or dramatically gone down. You see how many dead fruit flies are in there. There's always quite a lot in this outworld. What we're probably looking at about 10, 15 somewhere in that outworld. They're waiting for me to feed them actually. That was part of the plan today. Forgot to do it before I started recording, so let's just do it. This could be a bit messy with fruit flies escaping, but oh, here we go. I put an absolute load in there. let's have a look at some Manica rubida hunting. You see, I have given them a bit of roach every now and again, but I've pretty much put these on a diet of fruit flies ever since I got them. Because they can grab a fruit fly and they can take it back to the brood, feed it immediately. And I have seen other people are using, more normal ant food like roaches and whatever, Mario worms, whatever. But I've just not really risked it. They're still alive, is what I can say. So I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep feeding these fruit flies 2-3 times a week. This is the temperature in here right now, because these are in the cold part of the bug room. I'm officially calling it the bug room because, I don't know how this is going to come out in the video, I have divided off that half of the garage and lined it with insulation. That's for the tarantulas, so they're kept warm. And these are in the cold part of the garage, but we've not really had a cold winter, have we? So I have seen them looking like they're hibernating, but then I'm not going too strict on it, basically. I'm just letting them sit in the cold part of the garage and let them hibernate or not. Let's see how they go. So anyway, we're on to the rubra now. What's he doing? Still looking okay. They're in the same area. This is the cold area for the, what do you call it, naturals? I don't know what we call it. I've just given them a roach. So I'm just feeding them. And they're going for it. They're not quite going for it as much as they were. I've decided this year I'm not going to strictly hibernate anything, because I think sometimes when I've strictly hibernated, that means I'm not giving them any sugars, I'm not giving them any food at all. I'm just shutting them away and leaving them to it, hoping for the best. So Lasius niger, I don't see them out in the outworld very often. I think these actually could be hibernating. Can we get in there? I don't know if we can actually see them. Let's try this. There are a decent amount of Lasius niger in there. There we are. Last time I looked, the queen was still alive. There's a bum there. When I say decent amount, not compared to most people, considering this is now a 2-year-old colony, it's probably about 30-40 workers. They've never really boomed, but we'll see what happens next year. Yeah. Okay, so this is my Lignoperdia queen. I know they're a slow-growing Camponotus, but she's out in the cold. This is where I think maybe the Japonicus should be really as well. I think they need a bit of hibernation, but anyway, just disturbed her badly. So I don't mess about with this queen, I just leave her alone. She's the, look at the water by the way, whilst we're here. Lignoperdia, look, she's got a healthy little pile of eggs there. Which is strange, because they've actually been developing, well, since about October. Like that. I've noticed she had a few eggs in October, so she seems to be just growing them very, very slowly over winter. Don't mind at all. Lignoperdia is a long-term venture. So let's just see what's going on here with all the fruit flies. Yeah, if I can make these work. Look at them, look at them. Oh, they've come out now hunting. They're such a beautiful ant, aren't they, Manica? I mean, you've got your rubida, which I have to say, if you're not long into ants and you think, oh, rubida, no, we get those all over the place around here in this country. Think again. If you can get hold of a decent colony to start with, I don't mean a queen. I mean, well, Jake's your man. If you want a decent colony, he knows how to trap them properly. So there's a way of trapping them properly, so you get a few queens and a big colony all in one, and it's worth it. It really is. They're top value ants, they are. But not many people have success trying to find just a queen. Let's have a look at the rest of the rubra. Yeah, top value, honestly. They do the swarming, they've got attitude, they've got confidence, which is what you get with these as well, with Manica. But trying to, it's having a Manica colony that's still alive a year after you started is a skill, let's put it that way, which I haven't mastered yet. I'd like to. Okay, next, what are we doing? Probably April time, I think. In January, February, March, April, maybe even June. April, June. If I've still got this colony in April, June, then I'd say that I'm doing quite well. Oh, the queen's moved from that tube now. But I deliberately don't really mess about with these. I just chuck loads of fruit flies in. Bit of sugar water in that little tray there, which is actually more for the fruit flies to drink when they're in there. The first few months, whenever I put sugar water in, the actual Manica would just fill it in with stones. They don't seem to want it too much. And that's my plan, really. The rest of the winter they're just going to stay out here in a sort of very non-strict hibernation, but I'm just going to feed them and feed them and feed them and feed them, you know, 3 times a week and try not to forget. And that's that. I think part of the problem is you give them a week with no food, and that's when they go weak and things die. They take it, even when it's quite cold. You know, I've seen it down to 10 degrees in here, and there's still been the odd worker that will take some food. So that's my plan with them. I just think that maybe they can cope with much colder temperatures than we think, and they're not actually hibernating. They want some food. So anyway, if you've stuck with me this far, thank you very much. Sorry, it's been a long time since the last update. Mainly for you, Jake. Jake's my super fan, and I'm his super fan. Anybody else who watches this, thanks so much for watching. Sorry I've, not put any content out for so long. I've been doing 1 to 2 videos on tarantulas a week. I find it so easy with tarantulas compared to ants. But yeah, this is it. I've done it now. I'll get this uploaded. Thanks everyone. Have a great Christmas. Happy New Year. I'll be at AntCon with the kids actually this time. It's going to be a bit weird. And yeah, I might just go back to old school updates. I think that's going to be easier. People like it. I like it. It's easier. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Give it to me like